Hey, this is Cameron. Welcome back to the Busy Gardener channel. Today, I'm with my neighbor Thomas.
Hello.
And we are going to be unboxing and installing this Greenjoy home grow box. Let's get busy. So one of the things that a company wanted to see if I was interested in checking out was this little seedling growing station or plant growing station. It's similar to what the AeroGarden has. And since I don't have a ton of space and we already have an actual herb garden going, I got a hold of my neighbor Thomas, who lives across the street, and said, "Hey, do you want to try this thing out? You're welcome to keep it after we're done." So actually, I'm going to head over there right now, get this thing unboxed and set up.
All of a sudden, I got so nervous staring at the camera.
I know. It is kind of an unnerving thing. Like, I've done this now many times, so I'm like, it doesn't actually matter. Who cares? It's not going to sink the channel. Might sink the channel. Do a good job. Thomas and I, Thomas moved in. You guys moved in like a year ago.
Yeah.
Thomas and I share a love of gardening, of stuff growing. It wasn't even, you were here for like a few months and the whole front yard is just kill all the grass, replant the whole thing.
Yes.
He did more to his backyard in like the first 5 months of being here, more almost than I've done in the 10 years that I've lived over there. So where did your love for growing stuff come from? Because you had a garden at and some other stuff going on at the house you guys lived in before.
Yeah, so most of that actually is culturally.
Yeah.
So growing up, I lived on a half-acre lot. My dad planted a ton of fruit trees. We probably had more than 40, not as much as yours. And gardening has just been something that we've done growing up. It was a great pastime, but there's something about working the soil and seeing the blessing from it of the flowers, the fruits, and that's just been such an enjoyment for me. You know, a good gardener is a patient gardener.
Yeah.
Something that has taught me a lot of patience. But through that patience, at the end of it, all the reward for the roses that I grow for my wife, the food that we grow, the fruit, all that stuff has been a blessing from the Lord for us. So since then, we've been hitting the ground. But it's been a blessing to live with the Busy Gardener or next to it, because I get advice every day, basically, on how to prune my trees. And take care of it.
I do feel a little more pressure when it's somebody else's thing that I go, okay, so I know I've done this a lot of times, but I don't know if it's going to work on this one. And then when it's yours, it just feels like the pressure gets ratcheted up. So, okay, well, the reason for this video is sometimes I get companies that will reach out, they see the channel and they'll go, hey, we want to send you something. Do you want to evaluate it? And one of the companies, and many times they say no because I look and I go, I don't have a use for that, or I just perceive that it's not that great. But this is kind of an intriguing thing. These guys, Greenjoy, reached out with this home grow box. And what this is it's essentially like a hydroponic setup where you have like, similar to the AeroGarden. I had an AeroGarden years ago.
Oh yeah.
But the things I used it for several years and then the little inlets got jammed and it was already old and crusty. So I thought this would be interesting, but then I thought, hey, I wonder if Thomas would be interested in using this thing. You were talking about planting an herb garden. I was like, I've got just the thing. This is the niche for this is to do herbs.
Yeah.
Kind of like an AeroGarden is. So I said, yeah, send it. So they did. And so I said, hey, do you want this thing? And then we'll just shoot a video on it.
I have space in here and this is perfect. So I can grow my herbs indoors without needing sunlight.
Yeah, that's really the point of this is that it doesn't matter what the weather is going on out there. This unit, they have lights that are built in the top, the canopy, and then they've got a watering system beneath. And the idea of this sort of thing is that you're able to grow herbs on your countertop, literally your countertop, or in some other place where it's not having to be outdoors, and it's in a lot more controlled environment. You don't have pests, it doesn't get burned, it's getting watered regularly. So let's open this thing and see what we've got going on in here. Okay, so having this space here is pretty perfect. You have like a counter space and a plug right here. It's almost like
it was meant to be.
40 years ago when our houses got built, they knew. Wow, this has actually got a bunch of stuff going on in here. Okay, so that looks like the little tray, little holder. So now I'm worried. I don't want to miss any spare parts. They'll be angry with me. Somebody in China will be upset. Like, well, we told you. Okay, so we've got like a bunch of stuff. Well, let's get these out and then we'll figure out what they are. These are the little holders undoubtedly that are gonna go inside here, so that's pretty cool. And then we've got the little holders that are gonna drop. Oh wow, weird.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, we'll see what they tell us to do. So something that differs from the AeroGarden that I had is that this is all LED lights, and that's really convenient compared to the fluorescent light that the old AeroGarden had. I think all the new ones are pretty much LED, but just the idea that those bulbs used to go bad after a while. LED, it's on or it's off. There's no kind of in between. Yep. Here, you hang on to that for a second. Man, they're not kidding. There are a bunch of spare things in here.
Don't miss any spare parts.
I'm so terrified that I'm gonna like get rid of the box when I shouldn't.
We're not reading directions, Cameron.
I don't know. Should I be reading the directions?
Okay, you put it together. You take a guess. I'll read the directions and make sure you're doing it right.
Okay. They're all popping out.
Hold on. Did you do it? Hold on a second.
Hold on. Just hold on a second. Something that the AeroGardens have that this doesn't have is that the AeroGardens have an adjustable canopy. So you're able to have the lights down real low close to the seedlings. And then as they grow, you're able to move the canopy really pretty high up. This being fixed means that it's not going to be as good because it can't get as low. And then also once your stuff starts getting higher, you run out of space as soon as the plants hit the top. Just as a design feature, that is a limitation. If you've got some sort of plant that is going to be really tall, you're going to run into some issues with that. I don't know why I'm setting this up. Although you want to read the directions, I'm just trying to get this thing done. You can read those later and see what I did wrong.
Oh. All right, skip that step.
Just skip that step.
Step 4. Don't do step 4.
Step 4 is a scam.
All right, connect the power cord to the port on the right-hand side.
On the right-hand side.
On the right-hand side of the LED panel, as indicated. The panel will light up automatically after completing installation.
That's pretty exciting. I don't care what you say. I don't care that the canopy doesn't go high. I don't care, but no. Did it say to do that?
There's a 1-button start. I'm pushing the 1-button start.
No. Now the pump is going.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh wait, hold on. There's a warning about the safety fasteners.
What is this? Oh!
Is it for if
you can stack multiple units together. That's something that you wouldn't be able to do if this had an adjustable height. So you could have a whole stack of these units. Okay, that's actually kind of cool.
Which would be perfect in a chef's kitchen if you have multiple herbs that you want to do and you have an herb wall in your kitchen or your home.
Yes.
Yeah, that would make sense.
You're forgiven, Greenjoy. Good thinking. All right, they did pretty good on that. Okay, have we got the... What step are we on now?
I don't know. Hold on. We did 5.
Was this the right instructions? Is that the one? Plant nutrients going on. Couple different plant nutrients. There's a whole like packing list of the different things that came in it.
There you go.
What is this? It's a shading hood.
What?
A shading hood.
For what?
Look at this. The reason why they put the Ziploc thing is for being able to open it and reclose it. I'll donate a Ziploc. I don't need this. I'll donate a Ziploc. Okay. That's so interesting. So this differs a whole lot actually from the AeroGarden. The AeroGarden, what they do is they give you these little plugs.
Okay.
Soil plugs you put in here. You put those inside the direct, and it starts squirting water on them. I still don't understand. Is this going to like start like broadcasting a mist? I will say this in terms of just initial thoughts on this thing. This is not as convenient as the AeroGarden because you're having to do the germination first, and then you've got some steps to transplant it, which isn't going to be difficult because you just take the entire little cube out of here and just plug it in to this guy, drop it into here. So that's not going to be difficult, but it is an extra step. So you talked at the beginning of this video about patience. A good gardener is a patient gardener.
Yeah,
we have not I haven't demonstrated any of that patience as we've set this up. Like, just let me at it. But
you're like a kid. It's Christmas time.
I was kind of excited though. No joke.
Open the gifts. Let's put it together.
I wanted to see it. It looks beautiful. This is gonna be just very pleasing. I love that it's blinking. It makes me think that it's smart. I think what they use all of these extra spaces for is for you to start your seedlings indoors. It's watering them, it's taking care of them with the idea that you're going to take and grow these outside. So that's why it's got so many of them. I think realistically, you probably have space for maybe 4 plants.
Well, that's my question. If I want to still grow indoors,
yes.
How many do I use?
Well, just think about what the eventual size of the plant is.
Right.
And then that's what you're going to base it on. You're going to look and say, okay, we've got, 1 plant here, 1 plant there, maybe 4, I think.
So here's this. What if I say, who cares about the crowding? What happens to my plants?
They just grow into each other. Yeah. 2 weeks from now, we're going to come back. Because this is a little bit anticlimactic, honestly. Put the seeds in there and wait for them to germinate. I know you're supposed to do that. So, okay, we'll pick this video up in a couple of weeks once these have germinated a little bit. And you can tell me what you've learned about this thing. You're probably going to go online and become an expert on this. I'm going to come back and say, well, Cameron, actually...
The directions said...
Let me see your hands. Hold
on. Is that a pinch? Hold on.
Yeah, oh no. Okay, so something that we're realizing is when you're taking and starting seeds, you want to start with a pinch of seeds. So you're going to have more than just one.
Just a pinch.
Just a pinch. And I think in this case, you're probably going to want to use, because your hands are wet, you're going to want to use those little tweezers. So something we geniuses figured out was that the sound we heard, which we thought was the pump, and I was so worried was going to burn out the pump, is actually the fan to cool the LED panel. Okay, so Thomas and I are just, the instructions are so contradictory on this thing. They're saying to put stuff in the seedling tray and...
Don't fill it with water.
Don't fill that with water, but
turn it on.
But then turn it on so that way it's getting light. But then what's happening is this thing says, oh, we don't have water in here. And so it's so conflicting and confusing. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna test and take, of the seedling tray, we're gonna take 4 of them and leave them in the seedling tray, but then we're gonna also install 4 of them. So we're gonna put nutrients, we're gonna do the whole deal and just see what happens. We'll test it. So that way some will grow in the seedling tray and some will just be cultivated already.
Yeah.
Give it a shot.